Karan, Ceylan, and 𝐊𝐔𝐌 triangle. This is the core survival deception. Karan now secretly believes Ceylan is innocent in his brother's murder, but, and this is key, they must maintain the public facade of a hostile forced marriage.
And why? Because they're actively trying to find the real killer without alerting the rest of the household.
Who might be complicit.
Exactly. So public cruelty becomes their shield. But the shield is constantly being tested, especially by Karan's actual wife, 𝐊𝐔𝐌.
Oh, 𝐊𝐔𝐌 is fighting to keep him, and she's using a devastating tool. Weaponized vulnerability. She is actively performing victimhood after a recent attack.
It's all about performance.
All of it. She's claiming intense psychological trauma, chronic nightmares, and she's demanding heavy medication, specifically sleeping pills and painkillers, to manage her so-called distress. Her whole plan to use the medication to secure Karan's sympathy is foiled.
How?
The maid, Aisha, she accidentally messes up the dosage or the delivery. And 𝐊𝐔𝐌's distress isn't about her pain. It's about the failure of her strategy.
And this failure leads to her chilling vow. She tells her confidant that if this tactic doesn't work, she will escalate. Immediately.
Escalate how?
By faking a complete psychological breakdown or even suicidal ideation to win Karan back. This isn't just drama. This is a strategic move to raise the stakes until Karan cannot afford to leave her.
Forcing him back through extreme guilt. So if the Karan and 𝐊𝐔𝐌 situation is driven by malice and control, the second plot, Ceylan and Karan, is it's driven by therapeutic necessity.
A completely different motivation.
Completely. Ceylan and Ceylan are faking a passionate romantic relationship entirely to please Karan for its beloved aunt.
And the hope is that her happiness will encourage her to accept critical medical treatment.
Right.
And their performance is built on these deliberate public displays of staged intimacy. What really stands out in the sources is the focus on the mundane, like the bicycle lessons.
Oh, yeah.
Ceylan pretends she can't ride a bicycle, even though Ceylan taught her before. And he plays the role of the devoted, supportive partner.
He even coins these little slogans, because phrases like, "it won't work" and "I can't do it." Banned sentences.
It's the perfect public performance of a supportive, budding romance.
And it's all designed for Karan's consumption. It's light, it's visible, and it suggests a future.
But Farid has to be extremely careful here. He needs to manage the real-world boundaries of this fake relationship.
He does.
Karan and Ceylan's performance starts to fracture precisely because Karan's feelings transition from calculated hostility to, well, genuine affection.
Ceylan notices it.
She does. She sees that subtle but profound shift. He stops treating her like an enemy and, he just starts looking at her differently.
The change is so visible it becomes impossible to hide. On his birthday, he appears wearing a very specific, tangible symbol of their hidden connection.
The handkerchief.
The handkerchief Ceylan had painstakingly embroidered for him. And he even asks her, in public, "Does it suit me?"
And who spots this dangerous breach first? The person who has the most to lose from their happiness. His mother.
Of course.
She finds it deeply suspicious. She points out that Karan never liked sentimental things like that. This small piece of embroidery is basically a flag they're raising that says, "We are secretly close."
And then we get the emotional climax of the confession. Karan speaks his truth only when he believes he's safe from accountability.
Right, on his birthday night.
He confesses his true feelings to Ceylan while she is pretending to be asleep.
Yep.
But she's awake, absorbing every single word.
He calls her his first, only, and last love and regrets that he can't say it to her face yet. I mean, think about the profound vulnerability of that moment.
He has to pretend she's unconscious just to let his real feelings surface.
And for Ceylan, lying there awake, listening, it's just overwhelming. She's forced to experience his love as the secret, silent gift. And she's not even sure if it's reality or just a dream.
And this hidden vulnerability immediately dictates his next actions. He manufactures an entire day trip to the countryside.
Under the guise of finding berries for his niece's jam.
Exactly.
Right.
But the sources confirm this was completely staged.
Right. It was calculated spontaneity. He called ahead to a secluded grill spot to have a table prepared for them. The berry picking was just a cover story.
A cover for a private, romantic, and secluded outing.
This date is Karan dropping the mask entirely, just for a few hours.
And those small physical details on the date, they really emphasize his shift in role from captor to caretaker.
What do you mean?
He gives her vitamins when she sneezes. He comforts her when she twists her ankle. Every action is designed to communicate genuine care, which is a stark contrast to the public cruelty he shows her at home.
The emotional climax arrives when he apologizes to Ceylan for all the pain he's caused, and he asks her directly, Ceylan, do you want to stay with me?
He affirms that publicly she is now his wife, regardless of what the family thinks.
But he stresses the core deception about her guilt must continue. They still have to catch the killer.
So he brings her up to this absolute pinnacle of emotional security and affirmation. But the deception they started to uncover, a killer, immediately demands a new layer of protection when he gets home.
And this is where we see the strategic lie absolutely crush the personal truth.
When Karan returns, his mother immediately presses him about the date.
Of course she does.
And Karan, feeling the pressure of the family and all the suspicion, delivers a devastating final blow.
And crucially, he does this while Ceylan is within earshot.
Yes. He tells his mother that the closeness and all the recent actions were purely strategic.
He rationalizes their intimacy not as love, but as functional necessity.
The sole intention being to have a child, a grandson, to satisfy the family's deep-seated expectations for lineage.
It's strategic emotional self-sabotage. He chooses the most painful, transactional lie to protect himself from his family's scrutiny.
And in doing so, he betrays Ceylan far more deeply than any public cruelty ever could.
So she realizes that the genuine affection she experienced, the one she thought was real, can just be instantly rationalized and reduced to a purely functional, strategic motive.
A means to an end for a grandson.
And that functional explanation just obliterates the confession of first, only, and last love she heard the night before.
So if Karan is sacrificing Ceylan's feelings for family strategy, Farid is sacrificing his real relationship with Layla for his aunt's health.
Right. Farid and Ceylan are continuing their performance.
And just like with Karan, the act is starting to bleed into genuine emotion. But this time, it's primarily for Ceylan, who admits she loves Farid and trusts him completely while they're practicing on the bike.
Meanwhile, Layla Farid's true love is forced to watch this theatrical romance unfold from the sidelines at the cafe. She is so deeply suspicious of Ceylan.
She sees through the performance instantly.
Immediately, she tells her friend she recognizes the maneuver, comparing it directly to her own high school trick of faking inability to ride a bike to attract a boy. She even warns her friend not to trust Ceylan.
What does she call her?
A snake.
So Layla is caught between her love for Farid and her intuition about Ceylan. Despite the public displays of affection like the celebratory kiss Ceylan gives him after a successful lesson, Layla tries to remain rational.
She tells Farid she trusts him.
But the proximity and the physical theater are obviously eroding her confidence.
And the performance just gets more and more elaborate. Karan, the aunt, is constantly monitoring them, seeking proof that their bond is real.
And Ceylan delivers.
She does, by staging a minor accident while baking a little burn.
This staged injury is just brilliant physical theater. It allows Farid to apply cream to her hand.
A public, intimate display of care.
Perfectly calibrated to be witnessed by Karan, who is absolutely delighted that the couple is bonding. Ceylan is calculating intimacy to meet a specific goal.
And the cost of this calculated intimacy is paid entirely by the real relationship. Farid, desperate to maintain Layla's trust, tries to talk to her.
But she avoids him.
She actively avoids him, worried about being seen by the aunt. He tries to explain his actions, but Layla is just so frustrated by the whole performance and the way it makes her feel jealous and insecure.
So she just walks away.
She does. She leaves him alone to deal with the charade.
In both of these major deceptions, we see the same consequence. The intended beneficiary, the killer stays hidden, the aunt gets treatment, they gain. But the emotional relationships necessary to execute the plan are being fundamentally destabilized.
They're being broken by the pressure of the lie. It's important to look at a strategic test that happens in the sources because it provides a perfect foil to the emotional mess we just analyzed.
Right, the test with Mehmet.
Exactly. This involves Mustafa and his colleague trying to test Mehmet, who has amnesia, to find the location of some hidden gold.
And this test is designed to exploit emotional weakness, just like Seema tries to exploit Karan's guilt.
How do they do it?
They stage a conversation about Mehmet's mother being critically ill in the hospital. The goal is simple. See if the emotional shock breaks through his amnesia, or at least his calm demeanor, and makes him reveal where the gold is.
And here's the contrast. While Seema's manufactured trauma nearly works on Karan, the genuine high-stakes trauma they apply to Mehmet fails completely.
He doesn't react at all.
Not at all. He remains outwardly calm, focuses only on cleaning his area, and refuses to give away any information.
His emotional control, whether it's because of his amnesia or just a profound inner strength, it's impenetrable. The others conclude that Mehmet is a better actor than they are.
Which is such a crucial insight.
It is. Mehmet succeeds because his vulnerability is inaccessible. He has no emotional weakness to exploit.
Now, compare this to Karan. Karan, despite being the master strategist trying to catch a killer, he fails the test of emotional control.
Right.
His true feelings for Ceylan leak out. The handkerchief, the confession, the secret date, proving that even the most determined strategist cannot contain genuine emotion under pressure.
Mehmet is a ghost of a man who can't feel, while Karan is a man overflowing with forbidden emotion.
Which makes him dangerously vulnerable.
And speaking of danger, we are constantly reminded that the very reason Karan and Ceylan are in this deception is because of mortal danger.
They're always looking over their shoulder.
While they're on their manufacture date, they hear gunshots from hunters, and Ceylan immediately panics, fearing it's her father's men coming to find them. The entire performance is rooted in a life-or-death crisis they are trying desperately to outrun.
As their secluded date wraps up, Ceylan tries to make sense of the chaos. She starts pondering the role of fate. She notes that the entire chain of events began with a car accident, and that if they hadn't met, her brother might still be alive.
Karan counters this existential reflection with a pretty philosophical, fatalistic reply. We cannot escape our destiny.
It's a heavy line.
It is, because it implies that their current situation, the love, the danger, the deception, all of it was inevitable.
But the inevitability of their love is immediately tainted by the necessity of the final lie. Karan returns home to his frantic mother and Seema.
And he's immediately on the defensive.
Completely. He denies his actions, claiming the trip with Ceylan was only necessary for a doctor's visit and that he doesn't need to justify every step he takes.
This sets the stage for the crucial, devastating functional lie. To deflect his mother's suspicion and protect his investigation, he declares that the true motive for his affection is purely transactional.
To bring a grandson into the family.
A strategic choice over the emotional truth.
And Ceylan, who only moments ago was celebrating his apology and his question, "Do you want to stay with me?" She hears this.
She hears everything.
The transactional explanation for their intimacy, that her value lies only in her potential to produce an heir, it just crushes her. She retreats, heartbroken, because she understands that even when he loves her, the strategy always comes first.
So what does this all mean for you? We've seen three distinct kinds of performance here. The lie born of malice, which is Seema faking trauma.
The lie born of therapeutic care, with Farid faking love.
And the lie born of survival, with Karan faking hostility.
The common thread is that every character is trying to stabilize their chaotic world through performance.